recording. Let's see. Gotta share with the folks. All right. And let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm good whenever you are.
Hello, everybody. This is John with Buddies Move Crypto, and on today's episode, we got Crypto Kim back, and we'll be doing another weekly end of the week analysis on Bitcoin. See where it's at right now. See if we're holding up strong from the previous live session we had, and then we're just gonna have a little conversation after. So right now, I'm just gonna let him get into it, and we'll go from there. All right, go ahead, Crypto King.
Okay, so doing the technical analysis here we're starting with Bitcoin paired with the US dollar, the data coming from the Coinbase, and we're on the Buttersmooth Media charts here. So on the monthly time frame here, we just see, just like before, we have our Fibonacci from the swing lows up to the swing highs. And we've just been, bouncing around the Fibonacci formation. We have trend lines, counter trend lines drawn from previous episodes. And so let's just zoom in and take a look at what Bitcoin's currently doing. So right now, just looking at a little bit where we've topped at the past, this month and the beginning of mid-April. We have March, we have February, we have January, and then that's where we fell from in December. So right now I would like to draw a level of resistance, and really we could start from back here.
Hold on, dude. Let me
Go for it.
I messed up. So, whoop.
Oh, you're already getting people calling in, huh?
Hold on. Let me see. I gotta stop the thing, okay?
Yeah, go for it.
Hello? Oh, you're here with the order? Okay, I'll be out there real quick, okay?
Damn, what the hell did you order?
Some wheat.
Oh, nice. It's like another pizza?
Whew, I got the medicine.
Hell yeah.
All right, start over again real quick.
Go. God damn, how much medicine did you get?
I'll show you a little bit. Screen. Oh, dude. Okay, guys, we're back. We had a little bit of technical difficulties around here. So, we're still having them. Okay, sorry, guys. So we're here with Crypto King doing another Bitcoin technical analysis. Kind of, seeing where it's at the end of the week, the weekly candle closure. So, no further ado, I'm gonna hand it back to Crypto King, and he'll be talking about it. Hold on, let me get you set up with the screen now, so I'm not in the way. All right, okay.
You're going to have a lot of cutting and editing.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so where we picked up, I'm drawing a level of resistance that we're currently having. Mm-hmm. And I'm just going to look left. I'm looking at these levels over here with the cursor, but I'm drawing it from this left-hand side. So I'm looking at the top of this wick on January. Just dragging it over here, getting it lined up at the top, clicking, dragging it over, and then just kind of looking at it, see where a good place to draw it would be. Up a little higher, we don't have very much, but down below, I'll draw it to the bottom of that, the top of that candle body as well. The same one where we drew the wick from. Okay, and from here, as you could just see, let me just see if I could adjust this a little bit more, make it a little bit better so everybody could see it. So you see it's been resistance before, back in February of 2021. Even though we went straight through, we still closed that monthly candle below. Then the next month, we went right through it. Then in April, a year ago today, we came back and retested it as support before we just melted right through it. It took us months to build back up to it, but we kept closing just underneath it. We're really within the box, and then went right through it. We came back and found it as a little bit of support. The monthly closed on it, and then January opened at the bottom of that level of resistance or support at that time. And then now we've just, this is the third month that we're retesting it as resistance. Let me just change that a little bit more. That's too deep of a red. Okay, so you could see it a little bit clearer there. So, I wouldn't expect any real big movement until we got above it. And then we retested it as support. So again, we came above it, retested it as support, and then, we were bought back up, but then we eventually just broke right through it. So this is a strong level of resistance, turned support, came back through, resistance before we broke through, a little bit of support, and now it's just been resistance. So really on the monthly time frame, that's all I'm looking at right now, because it's, mid-April? It's April 16th. So, the month is about halfway done. So I'm not putting too much into the monthly time frame currently, but it's always good to start out with to look at. So now we'll go to the weekly time frame and see how things look there. Let me just adjust the charts a little bit and really just looking to see how everything has been playing out a little bit. I'm going to extend it out a little bit more. This counter trend line where we have the first touch point here, second touch point. So we're just going to click it. We're going to extend it out a little bit, looking at those touch points, making sure they're still valid. Just extend it out just a little bit. Look at these touch points where we drew previously on the weekly time frame. This is the first touch point here, second touch point. Let's extend it out just so I could look at it a little bit better, see what we're doing. Okay, so you could see here, just like we talked about before, we had our run up, we created our high, we dumped back down, we created our low before we started moving up, retest, before we created a new all-time high. And man, it seems like lately we've just been stuck just on a downtrend, even though we're moving sideways currently. You know, we had a little bit of a downtrend, we moved sideways, and now we're just bouncing around a little bit. But again, we have our low and we have a higher low that we formed since the 17th of January of this year. So I would say, you know, I would feel comfortable saying a bottom has been put in, but we could be in a new Fibonacci retracement. So let's do that. We'll get the Fibonacci out. We'll start it at our top here. So we'll go swing high to our swing low of this green candle. So we're going from, what is this? We're going from the 8th of November, 2021 to January 24th, 2022. Let's just line that up at the bottom right there. Let's change the color of this one so we could see it a little bit better. Oh, that doesn't help, does it?
Maybe
Red,
green.
pink, green, you think?
Yeah, green.
Oh,
No.
I just maybe need to make it a little bit brighter. No, so see, these Fibonacci's are lining up together. So,
So the old one's still valid.
yeah, I would say this from the swing low here up to the swing high, I would still say it's still valid, even though we have a 61.8 right here at this level of resistance currently. From this swing high to this swing low, we have the 61.8 right in these levels. So, I mean, I wouldn't say we're in no man's land, but we were rejected off the 61.8 up here. And then now we're back at the 78.6, finding a support. And if you look back to the left, these were all levels a few weeks ago of resistance before we had a little minor breakout. So, I mean, we could just be retesting the level of the breakout, you know, the point of the breakout. But again, I wouldn't put too much into this one specifically, at least not currently. So I would say everything looks good. Seems like we're somewhat bottomed out. You know, really the bottom's probably more like around here, like around 36,000.
Got it.
So as long as we hold up here, I would expect us to still put in a, you know, we have the high, a higher high. So I would expect another higher high.
So you said on the previous episode that for you this is a healthy movement for Bitcoin.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if you just look at this, I mean, we had our run up.
Yeah.
We had a little bit of a pullback, even though I wouldn't really call that a pullback, before we created another high. We went sideways before we started crashing down.
There's a pullback right there, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then we went sideways again, just like we're doing right now, before we started to run up, retest, and create a new high. So let's get our measuring tool out because I'm curious. So from this low to about here in July, let's measure how long that was. So that was 9 bars.
2 months.
Yeah, 9 bars on the weekly time frame. So now let's measure from this low here to where we currently are. 12 bars, so about 3 extra weeks. So I would expect a movement, either if we're going up or if we're going to go down, to happen relatively soon.
Okay.
Because this over here, we were here for about 9 weeks, and now it's been, you know, about 12 weeks currently. So I would expect us to start, you know, in my opinion, to start moving back up to the upside. And another thing, look at this trend line we're on. So we have our first touch point here, October 18th, second touch point, November 1st, and I just extended it out. So you could see here, we're retesting the bottom of that counter trend line, or the trend line, excuse me. We broke above it. Give me just a second. Zoom in so you guys could see it a little bit clearer. So first touch point, second touch point, and just extended it out. And, you know, look at how it acted as resistance. We went for a little move towards it before. We touched it, we were rejected straight back down, and now we broke above it, and now we're currently retesting it. So that, in my head, with a counter trend line down here we're about to cross. Sure, we may come a little bit lower. We might even wick, below this before we start continuing up to higher prices.
Got it.
So I still feel, man, we could come up to the about 53,000 level, which is the 61.8 on the big Fibonacci we have on the monthly time frame. I would expect that. And really, if we go back up to these levels, let me adjust the screen real quick. If we come back up to these levels, man, the euphoria is going to be back in the market. Everyone will be bullish, and I'm sure that'll drive us up higher. And I mean, one thing I want to touch on about panic selling is just look at this chart. Why would you be panic selling now? At the bottom, right? We have our low, and now we have a higher low of 12 weeks that we just measured. What makes you want to sell that?
And and it's weird because the lowers have been, like you said before, they've been higher.
Right.
They've been every time it's been holding up at 38, and then it holds up at 40, and then it doesn't drop too much like before. It was more volatile before this little sideways trading, right?
Yeah, I mean, we could just look at the chart. I mean, you see when we really had a sell-off, look how far we went down and for how long we went down. And right now we're just moving sideways, just like up here, just like down here, sideways movement. So the top sideways movement, we came down. We formed that bottom sideways movement, we came back up. And I just love the way this looks. You know what I mean? The true retest before we started really moving. And just look how everything lines up. First touch point here, February 22nd. Second touch point, 19th of April of last year. And I just extended those lines out. And look how well that played out. And like I said in previous videos, is when we were down here and I had this counter trend line drawn on my personal chart, people were like, man, just delete that counter trend line because we're never going to go back and retest it. Look at that dump. Look at the sideways movement. Bitcoin's going to die. Bitcoin's going lower. I'm selling my holdings. And what do you know?
How long did it take from that wick where you started the, when it broke through the support, keep going a little more to the right? That one right there. This one to the one where it retested the trend line.
Up here?
Yeah.
Okay,
how long? Yeah, from there.
So I'll click here.
There, yep.
Extend it out before it was retested right there. 22 bars. So it took 22 weeks.
Okay, so how much is that? Like 4 or 5 months? 6 months? Somewhere around there, right?
Oh man, I'm messing this all up now.
Let's see. There you go.
Yeah, I'm messing this all up right here. Okay, so let me lock it before I mess it up. Oh my lord, man! This
You deleted
computer.
it. Go reverse.
Oh, man, I know. Reverse cowgirl it.
Undo. There you go. There we go.
Cool. Now let me lock it
Yeah.
instead of deleting it.
There you go.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, like we said, it was 22 weeks from, the break below it until we came back up to retest it and touch it again. So now I'm glad you brought that up. We could get the measuring tool because when we broke below this one, which is right here, let me just draw this to currently 19 weeks. It's been 19 bars. So I would expect what happens in the past is possibly to happen in the future when it comes to technical analysis. That's what technical analysis is. It's just looking to the left, looking back to plan for the future. So I would expect, man, within the next couple weeks, I mean, just imagine that. So just imagine that. So we have 3 more weeks until that would happen. So that would be 1, 2, 3. We'd be right here. So imagine even if we just still came down a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Just touch this counter trend line before we made that big movement up.
I think you should also touch on why you only do technical analysis on Bitcoin before you even go into other coins to trade them.
Right. And I mean, that's a really easy one, is because 99.9% of the market is just going to follow Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin is bullish, pretty much everything else is bullish. There's very few coins that'll blow up, pump big if Bitcoin isn't moving.
Okay.
Pumping, moving positively in the green. I mean, don't get me wrong. There are a lot of coins that still move when Bitcoin is going down or sideways, but a majority, things are going to move when Bitcoin moves. So
it's kind of like now when the NASDAQ is down, the crypto market is down as well.
I don't look at traditional stocks to compare to crypto. I mean, a lot of people do. I just never, I come from the generation, before all the moon boys now of where there's no correlation between the stock market and crypto market. Now we have big players from the stock market in the crypto market. So I'm sure there's some similarities, but I would never do stock market technical analysis to drive my crypto technical analysis.
I see what you're saying. Got it. Yeah. Because I know a lot of people look at stock market, especially they look at a company like Coinbase in the stock market and they see it doing bad, but they don't really understand that how much money is into the actual company being traded daily. I think you make more money trading crypto than actually trading the Coinbase stock.
Yeah, and I've never even looked into the Coinbase stock, but yeah, I mean, Coinbase is set. I don't know why they decided to go public like they did, but they did it, and now they just have to live with it. They make plenty of money with the fees.
Oh, that is true. I think that's a lot where a lot of their money comes from, right? Just the fees and just the fees alone, right?
Yeah. Outside of their holdings and the owner's holdings, I mean, a lot of it is just a lot of their profits are driven in from the fees.
Didn't you say you met the CEO of Coinbase?
No, I've never met anybody like that. But real quick, let's look at the daily time frame before we get too distracted. Look how good this looks. We have our movement up, volatile. This is a huge movement.
Got it.
We're just looking at it right now with our hindsight. But I mean, these are really big movements, big dumps, huge pumps, enormous dumps before we finally find some support, sideways movement, retest the bottom here before we start to move, another retest of the Fibonacci before we move. And look at us, we're bouncing between Fibonacci. And before we move up to the next one, we're retesting it, coming up, breaking through, going sideways, retesting the top before coming down, just bouncing around within the Fibonacci's. And again, this is the daily time frame, so that's why it looks like this. And look at the trend lines and counter trend lines, how beautiful everything has worked out. So when people tell me, man, they're panic selling, they're getting out of their positions, they're bearish, they're scared, whatever it may be, all this movement was from the very top here to where we are, the bottom, a 17% movement, an 18% movement. If you're panic selling all your holdings with that 17, 18% movement, man, you're going to miss out on all of these movements. I mean, just look right here. If you would have panic sold this little dump here back in 2020, if you would have panic sold that little dump from 19,000 down to 16,000, which would have been enormous, which was enormous at the time, you would have missed out on this movement, 151%. So you're scared of a 17% dump, right? Like, look what happened back here. Look what happened here before we started moving. I mean, it just baffles my mind that so many people are so bearish and scared of the market and panic selling when all the signs, all the technical analysis is, man, higher highs, lower highs. Why would you, if you held all the way up here, why are you thinking about selling down here? That's just what I don't understand.
Yeah, because people probably, like, I think I started buying like around, last time I bought Bitcoin was around 54,000, 55,000. And then, that's when we reconnected again. And you told me you need to, you need to start, once it gets to a certain price, you need to start getting rid of it.
Exactly.
Because you saw what was going to happen.
Yes.
That dump that happened after I sold too.
Exactly.
It dumped a little bit, but that's when I started learning about more how once Bitcoin started moving that way, like, oh, well, everything follows Bitcoin. It could be a little bit behind. It could be ahead of it a little bit, but it's moving the same way Bitcoin is moving. So Bitcoin is going to go positive. Everything's going to go positive.
Right, exactly. And again, it's not everything,
Not
but
everything, yes.
99.9%, most things are going to follow Bitcoin. And that's if I have anything bad about my technical analysis or my beliefs with crypto or my feelings towards crypto, it would be that, because all before, man, everything followed Bitcoin. Everything does follow Bitcoin really to this day, in my opinion. Before that, when were no USD pairings with all these coins, when everything else was paired with Bitcoin, I mean, Bitcoin would pump, everything else would dump, because the money would flow into Bitcoin. The money would flow out of altcoins into Bitcoin. So Bitcoin would pump, altcoins would dump. Then when Bitcoin would dump, the money would flow back into altcoins, because there were no USD pairings with Cumrocket. You know what I mean? There were no USD pairings with Dogecoin. It was all paired with Bitcoin. So when money would flow into Bitcoin, alts would dump. When Bitcoin would dump, the money would flow into altcoins. So,
but now it's working a little differently, though.
oh, it's way different now.
Now it's different.
That's people are looking for an alt season, but the market isn't set up like when we used to truly have alt seasons.
And that was before all these companies got into it, like actually started reporting to the IRS and all that.
I mean, there were probably still many companies back then, but it was just a different market. You know what I mean? There wasn't a USD pairing for every single coin.
So do you like trading more now or before?
I mean, I love it anytime. It's all fun to me. It's just, you have to learn to adapt to the market.
Got it.
Adapt to all the situations. That's the only way you're going to stay and become successful.
So when that change happened, did you figure that out on your own, or were you looking at certain things, or you hear about it, or how did that happen to you? How did you start realizing that, oh, this is trading differently than before?
Right. So you just have an open mind. So I just saw more USD pairings on coins. Like it mainly started on Binance. Binance was one of the, at least I think Binance was one of the first ones, at least that I noticed, that started getting USD pairings, man, for a lot of altcoins. I remember when XRP got a USD pairing, I just didn't, that's something that blew my mind. I never thought that would happen. I always thought XRP would be paired with Bitcoin and Ethereum.
Or Tether?
That was even before that.
Oh, wow. Okay.
That was way before that. But so you just adapt to the market. You keep an open mind. If the market's going one way, don't go against the market, just like trends. If the trends like we have right now, I'm going to say it again, a high, a low, a higher high, and a lower high.
Yep.
You don't go against the trend. That's when you're going to lose your money. That's when you're going to get liquidated. That's when you're going to question yourself. Oh, should I sell? I need to sell. I need to cut my losses, blah, blah, blah.
So at this time and moment, you would not be short in the market right now.
Let me look at it. If I was scalp trading, so if I'm going to be in and out of the market very fast within hours, sure, I might take a short. If I'm going to swing trade a short, no, sir. No, sir. I can't even, looking at the charts right now, I don't know where I would enter a short. Because if Bitcoin came back up to even the top of this resistance of about 47,800 to 48,000, per Bitcoin, I mean, look at how we blow past this when we do break above it.
Yeah,
that would be liquid. You'd be liquidated there, even with 5x leverage. You'd be definitely liquidated there. Even here, it would probably hit your stop loss. Let's see. Yeah, and here you would have been good. You would have thought you're the best trader in the world.
If you were to try that out again this time, it might be.
I wouldn't trust shorting the market currently. Sure, you could probably find some type of channel within here. If you drew a trend line from here, started it here, drew it to the top of there, I guess we could do it. Don't talk about it, be about it. So first touch point, February 10th, second touch point, the 28th of March, and just kind of, do your best to draw it. I would potentially short when we came back up here. But again, I mean, why would you short 50,000 when the 61.8 is at about 54,000? You know what I mean?
Because if it breaks through that line, it's going to go to the next one. Huh?
Yeah. So this is just a weak little trend line. You know what I mean? So if, like I said, if I were to short the market, this is kind of how I would set it up for like a scalp trade.
Got it.
But like I said, if it comes up to these levels, 49, 50,000, it's going to the 61.8. There's no in between. So if you had your short stacked here, you would be in a loss very fast. Even with the 5x leverage trade, you would be in a loss extremely quick, something you don't want to do. So no, I would not short the market. You would be going against the trend, like I said.
Okay. I think another thing we should touch on at this time in the moment, this is where the big money is made, right? This is where people that stay in this. I mean, what's the longest you had held a hold, like, low prices like this? What's the longest you've been like, okay, I'm stuck in a trade for, longer than I wanted to? Is this the time that you've been stuck in a trade longer than you wanted to?
No, you have to remember how long I've been in the market.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not stuck in any trade, but like our swing trades right now, I mean, why would we sell AMP? Why would we sell NCT? Why would we sell any coins that we're in right now when they're all bottomed, in my opinion?
Got it.
All of the coins that we're in seem to be bottomed out. And Bitcoin is showing us this. We have our high, we have our low, higher high, and we're putting in a higher low. I mean, why would us specifically sell our coins, man? I'm happy to hold. What has it been, 12 weeks that we measured the Bitcoin? 12 weeks? What is that? You know what I mean? If you
3
can't,
months, yeah.
If you can't hold at a little bit of a loss or at even for 12 weeks, man, you don't deserve that 150% pump. You know what I mean?
Got it. Yeah,
And the other thing too is it doesn't change my lifestyle. It doesn't change the decisions I make. It doesn't change the way I live. It doesn't change anything if we're going sideways for any moment of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even holding it, if I was holding at a small percent of a loss, it's not changing the way I live because I've been in the market long enough. I know the market cycles. I have long-term holds. I have my swing trades, my day trades. Everything's good. You know what I mean? Compared to somebody new in the market, of course they would be panicking if they bought Bitcoin at 50,000, 55,000, 60,000. But I do like how it went up to 69,000. It didn't go to 70,000.
No, it goes to
69,000.
on the dot too.
That's Elon messing with the market, dude. That's Elon up there.
Oh God, dude.
But so what I'm saying is, have faith in your holdings. If you're a believer in the crypto space, man, sometimes you have to hold in a loss, especially if you're new to it. But in, a year from now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years, whenever it is, Bitcoin won't be at these prices. Like 4 or 5 years ago, Bitcoin was, 3,000 or 4,000 a coin. And look at where we're at right now.
Oh boy.
If you bought when Bitcoin was 4,000 a coin, you'd be up, 10x. Because we're 40,000 basically right now. So it's all about perspective, man. Is you don't want to invest more than you're willing to lose per se. But if you're putting in money that you shouldn't be investing, if you're putting in bill money, potential bill money, family money, whatever,
rent money,
of course, then of course you're going to be scared and spooked in the market because you can't afford to lose. And I mean, I tell you and our close friends, man, is this market is set up to fucking break you. They want to break you. We're retail traders. We're not meant to make money in this market. So that's what I have to say about panic selling.
Yeah, exactly. You don't want to panic sell. We actually been buying a little more here and there, especially because it's been down for so long. And this is a conversation that I had with him. He said he's not Crypto King said he's not happy that the market is down for so long, but he's kind of happy at the same time because I got a longer period of time to invest.
Right.
So this is the time where you want to invest more because the lowest prices.
Exactly.
You want to buy cheap, sell high. I mean, that's and this is where it applies actually. When the prices are super low, they've been long for a while now. So this is where you want to put in. I even went into older swing trades that I'm still stuck on because like he's fine making 5 to 10% on a trade. I'm looking for a little more. That's why I'm holding it a little longer than he is because he could get in and out of the trade. And now that I'm kind of taking things on my own as well to make other decisions.
Right.
So now it's like, it's okay to start just putting in more. And that's what I've been doing. Still buying, putting more into my older holdings. I still got EOS, Polymat, REN, and what else is it? NCT.
Yep.
And yeah, we got all the ones, the swing trades that we've been on. I'm still been holding them and it's fine. It's like, I haven't lost anything. You haven't lost
because you haven't sold.
Exactly. I haven't sold anything. If you haven't sold it, you haven't lost it. I'm down $10,000 right now, supposedly.
That's what Coinbase Pro is telling you.
That's what they're saying to me, But no, I'm holding down. Like, it's just, now I'm just like, okay, we're just waiting now.
Right.
And it's, it might get a little frustrating from time to time because, especially for me, I'm talking people's ear about crypto, and and I'm still doing it. It's fine. I tell them, hey, I'm even telling people, like, hey, this is, if you want to think about getting into crypto, you might want to think about getting into it now,
Exactly.
because of how low the prices are.
Amazing, beautiful prices.
Because once it goes sub, then this is going to be a different story.
Right.
The people that we told them, hopefully they regret it.
Hopefully they bought in.
Hopefully they bought it too. But if they don't buy it, they're gonna regret it.
Right. Of course. And I mean, people only want to hear about the market when it's pumping.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That is true.
When it's dumping, moving sideways, people don't want to hear about the market.
No.
It's not exciting or anything.
Boring.
Right. But again, like, this is potentially where the money is made. But again, you're not going to have life-changing money from Bitcoin going from 40,000 back up to 69,000. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Sure, that's good money, good percentages. Altcoins will move and be crazy. But, the real money is if you were invested years ago, multiple years ago, just like